Alright, here we are and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So today we'll be doing a breakdown of this scene right here. And if you haven't seen the video already, link will be somewhere up there. So let's start off by disabling everything and let's set it to material preview for now. Alright, okay, so let's disable everything and we'll talk about it as we go on. Alright, so now that we have disabled everything, let's talk about the phone booth we got going on right here since it was the initial idea. And most of the time I like to start my project by setting up the camera. So yeah, we got a camera going on here. In that way you will get the feel of how it's going to be. And using metric to get a sense of scale, how big things should be, since this right here is a real life scale of a human figure. And then I scaled everything. Most of the time when you get models online like this, most of them are scaled to real world size, but then you won't always get that. So I have this here to take as a reference and scale everything according to it. As you know here, the payphone is not something really big, right? So yeah, I set it here and then scale it according to this reference of the metric that I got here. And yeah, let's disable it for now. The central idea is that it will be a night scene, it will be raining, and then there will be a light here, a light that is flickering with a character that's sitting here, right? So that was the central idea. Let's enable and everything. So yeah, here we got the pavement. It's a payphone, right? It's supposed to be on the side of the road. So yeah, I got a payphone and I got the road going on here, as you can see. For the road, I have it's just a simple plane. Then I scaled it towards the x-axis. The red here indicates this x, and then I have the texture which I got from Quixel. If you don't know what it is, this is Quixel Bridge, and things here are free. Most of them are, I guess, as long as you have an active Epic Games account. So I got the texture from here. By going to surfaces, you get, as you can see, there are lots of different kinds of texture here you can make use of, and it's just one click away from using it. So yeah, and they are free. So but initially it was not textured this way. It's supposed to be like this. The road looks like this. It's good, everything is cool here, but we are making a raining scene here, right? So the road is supposed to be wet. So to make the wetness, I have set up this color ramp right here to control the wetness of the road. Yeah, now you can see the wetness, and if I dial it back, it's how it was in the initial stage. And then if you crank it up, you can see the wetness. It's right. Yeah, the more you crank it towards the white value here, the more you see the wetness. It's like water already. So yeah, I set it somewhere here, I guess. Yeah, to to show the wetness that it's raining, right? And yeah, the same goes for the pavement. It's just a cube that I scaled it, and then there's the different pavement texture that I got from Quixel Bridge. And yeah, so I played around with the roughness the same way as I did with the road here. And then we got some trees here on the background, which is a very low poly tree. This tree too, I got it from Sketchfab here. And the boots, the electric pole, and the tree, I got all of them from here, Sketchfab. And next thing we have is the wooden kind of fence here. Yeah, I got this from Sketchfab as well. And yeah, I played around. It's just one of them here, and then I duplicated it, and yeah, rotated around and build this entire wall here till here. Yeah, so that's the basic scene that we have right here. And then I have another thing here to add a bit more detail to the road, which is this one right here. This also, I think I got this one from Quicksell Bridge. And then we have two of these, which I then duplicated it to this part of the road. It's like a sand or something. I don't know exactly, but yeah, the same I did with them. The roughness, I wanted it to be wet since it's a raining scene. And then I have electric pole going on here. This also I got it from Quicksell, and for the electric wire, I made it using Bezier curve, which you can do by uh, adding a curve and a Bezier curve. Then here you have the Bezier curve right here. And then what you can do is you can go to tab to edit mode, and then you can just play with it. Just grab the endpoint or extrude it this way, for example. Extrude it this way, and then go back to object mode, and then you can have any object. For example, let's add a cylinder. That's a cylinder here, and then what we can do is we can just rotate it towards the y-axis, so ry 90 degrees, and then we can just scale this one like this, and then yeah, and then we can scale a bit more, and then go to edit mode by typing, and you can have loop cuts here in order to bend the shape according to the Bezier curve, right? If it does not have a loop cups here, it's just a single cylinder, so it won't be able to bend in the way that we want it to according to the Bezier curve here, right here. So to bend it, we have to give it segments. By giving it a loop cuts, we are giving it segments to bend it. So right click, and then we have a segment, and go out of the edit mode. Now what we want to do is we want to set everything to normal by transforming all scale. Alright, so now we can apply modifier, and it's called a curve modifier. So let's add that and set the target as Bezier curve. Right? As you can see now, we can bend here. It's getting bent according to the Bezier curve we have set. And if you want to have a more complex bending, you can go to edit mode, and then have some crazy bends like this, and then it will follow the same bending as it is. Now what we can do is we can scale it up to fit this to fit the entire length of the Bezier curve. Yeah, so that's basically how I did for the wire. Alright, let's delete it for now, since we already have the wire. So yeah, that's for the wire, and that's all for the scene. Now let's talk about the character we got going on here. Now if we switch it to this view, alright, let's disable everything and play it back again. Alright, so this is the subject I got going on here. I keyframe for the animation, which I'll show you. But let's talk about where I got this model from. I got this model from Maximo, which you can find. So yeah, I've got Maximo going on here. You can just type it here. Alright, so this is Maximo, and this is the character that I use for my animation. Yeah, so we have this here, and for the animation I use a sitting animation which you can type, and then you can apply any of this animation and will be applied here, and then you can download this character individually or with the animation itself. So for my scene, the one I use is yeah, this is the one that I used. As you can see here, it's pretty good looking sitting posture with the going on here. And then you can go to download, and with skin, meaning character or only the animation. Without skin, you only have the animation which you can apply it to any of your character, and with skin it will come with the animation and the character that we have here. So I downloaded it with the skin, and then I imported it to my scene. I then reworked on the animation, and then I made her sit in this way. The way you can do it is by selecting the armature here. We call it the armature, which is basically the bone for this character, and by going there and then switching it to pose mode, you can now tweak around any of this bone, and then the character will follow, as you can see here. The leg, or yeah, you can twist around. Yeah, you can just play around with it, and you can use one cool feature here, which is called auto key. You can call it. What it will do is that, for example, we have this key right here, and at this point her head is turning towards from my point of view towards the right, and if you go to this point of the frame, and then let's tweak her head towards the left, and then it will automatically set a keyframe for you there. So now when you play it, yeah, there you see, as you can see, before it was not here, but now as you can see the head bone is turning that way. So yeah, it's a very cool trick that I use for my animation. And yeah, after tweaking everything, the bone, and I made her sit like this, I use this auto keyframing, and then I tweak everything as I can imagine, going through the timeline, having her look up and then down, tweaking her toes right here and feet, everything. So yeah, that's it for the character animation. Now let's go back to object mode. Yes. So yeah, there's not so much to talk about now. That's it. And then I set up the camera, and then I made the camera movement. Here I have the rotation keyframe, rotation and location keyframe, and by switching it to the graph mode, I have this modifier and noise setup here. As you can see, very subtle, but as you can see in the movement right here, and if you play it now, as you can see, as if someone is holding the camera and walking. So yeah, it's very cool. I use it a lot for my project. It's one of the many ways to incorporate some organic movements, for the camera, and also it looks very cinematic. So yeah, I use that feature a lot. All right, so now let's talk about the lighting. Let's switch it to render mode. And all right, so at first we have the point light going on here, as you can see here, the point light, and we also got another point light here. We have 2 point lights. Yeah, one here. As you can see, one here, and then another one here, and this one, when I spray it, as you can see here, it's flickering, right? Yeah, as you can see, it's flickering. So for the flickering, the way I did it is by going to the point light, and I input a single keyframe for the strength or the power of the light, and then when we switch it to graph editor, you can see here This is what's making the flickering. If you, yeah, if you play through, you can see the flickering right here. And the way that you can set this up is by, yeah, going to it and then apply the noise modifier right here. And then I played around with the scale and the strength. The scale simply means how fast of the flickering you want, as you can see here. If I give it somewhere like uh, a very small scale, the flickering is going to get faster every time I put it smaller value, as you can see right here. That I set it to somewhere 5. Yeah, so that's the flickering right here. And strength is like how much of the flickering you want, how bright of the flickering you want, as you can see the strength. So yeah, that's it for the flickering. And then I have the atmosphere here, which if you disable it, it's like this, which looks very unrealistic, since the light is not reacting to anything. In the real world, we have some kind of particles that the light is reacting to. So in order to do that, we have this. So now it, as you can see, the light is reacting to it. So yeah. Okay, then after that, I have another area light here, which is supposed to be a moonlight. It's a night scene, right? So it's supposed to represent a moonlight. Now let's talk about the render that we have here. Right now it's set to Eevee. The Eevee is a real-time previewing engine. It does not give you a very great result, but of course you can use it. If your computer is not so good or not so high end, then you can of course make use of it. But it's just for previewing. As you can see right here, if I turn it around, there's no lag or anything like that. Everything is real time, very fast, and there's no lag. But if I switch it to Cycles engine, which is as opposed a default render engine for Blender, which is very slow, as you can see here is loading. If I switch it up and I turn it around, you can see it's very noisy. Also at the same time, it's very slow and very laggy. And the speed depends upon the power of your computer. So yeah, Eevee is best when you're previewing your scene, since there's no lag here. But the one main difference between Eevee and Cycles is the way they handle lightings. As you can see here in Cycles, the lightings, we can, although very subtle, but we can see the silhouette here. We know that there's something here reflecting to the light. But if you switch it to Eevee, which is just a previewing engine, you can see here it's black. There is nothing reacting to it. So yeah, that's the main difference between Eevee and Cycles, is that the way they handle lights. Okay, so now let's talk about the rain that we see here. The rain is actually later composited. I did not make it inside Blender because if we make rain system inside here in Blender, then we will have particles here. Since it is raining, so there will be thousands of particles here, and my computer won't be able to handle it. So I had to come up with a different way of integrating the raining. So I had to later composite it. So once I have the scene ready, I exported it. I have the wetness here. It looks like it is raining except for the rain. The scene is wet and everything. So yeah, and once I have set up the resolution, which is 4K here, you can see 3840 by 1440p. It's a very high resolution. So yeah, I have exported it in OpenEXR, which is an industry standard format. Yeah, but you can make use of PNG or FFmpeg video. But for any kind of work that involves CGI or VFX, they will pretty much give you the same result, but it will give you a lot more detail while you're compositing it. So yeah, I made use of that. And once everything is set up, you go to render and render animation, and yeah, you wait for your scene to complete. So yeah, this is all for this video, and once again, thank you for watching.